But today I want to add some sensors. So I did put this sensor here already. It's just a low dollar motorsport sensor, and I usually have the water level in here about this high. So I'm going to put the sensor in there. This is all just open hose to the radiator, so this should be reading the same pressure as the coolant system. So I just drilled and tapped that thing. It's an 1/8 inch NPT. And then I do have a second sensor here, and I picked up some 3/16 copper tube. So I'm going to be doing that. I have an idea that I want to do with this to basically mount it on the head, and I'm going to cut the barbs off, drill out the center of that thing, and then I'll be able to mount it with a bolt to the head. And then I'll have the sensor coming out one side and then the fitting with the hose coming out the bottom. I'll just do it. I'll show you guys. It'll make more sense when I show it. And then I would like to use the Sloppy Mechanics extension harness here. So this thing, if you don't know what this is, it plugs into an existing sensor and it splits into two separate sensors. So you have yellow and you have white. Those go back to the computer. So then you can actually add two sensors off of another 3-pin sensor. So I'll show you how to hook that thing up, and then I'll actually go through setting it up in the computer. But this thing is actually pretty nice. So it does show your yellow, which plug is for which wire. This one is the white one. And the thing is pretty long, so I should be able to do multiple spots in the engine bay. And the split is really far back on the harness, so you can actually split them apart. So my plan is to do this one in this location, obviously, and then I should be able to split it into two separate spots, and then the other one is going to be mounted right on this bolt hole here. So let's just get started on it. All right, so here's basically what I came up with. I chopped the barbs off, I drilled out the center, and then I also shaved down the threads on the bolt to open up the little cavity inside there. And then I drilled and tapped this little guy down here. So I'll take this bolt out and show you that, and then we can mount it. It's kind of what that bolt looks like. I just kind of shaved down the threads, so the section that's inside of the aluminum block, the threads are shaved down just to kind of leave some airflow around there, and then the threads stick out. So it's not beautiful, but just needs to pass some air through there and hold pressure. Really, that's all it needs to do. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the store quick and I'm going to pick up some copper washers. I did have like some rubber washers, but I think I'm just going to pick up some copper washers. That way I can slam that thing together pretty tight. It won't leak. And then I got to bend the copper tube. So I have about 5 feet of tube here. I do plan to drill it right into the manifold there, so I'm probably going to take the turbo off just so I can get in there to do the drilling. Unless I can find another easy way to access some of that and still get the thing up to there. So maybe I'll do that. I'm gonna run to the store quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's kind of what I got so far. So I do have a long section. I'm gonna leave it long. I'm gonna put it in the crossover just because I don't want to take the turbo off and drill into the manifold. So I'm gonna go down a little bit farther, go under the manifold, put that other end in the crossover, and here's kind of what we got. So I ended up chopping the barb ends off and drilled another hole down here. And I took the bolt, shaved down the threads, and then I actually wrapped that section with the steel wool. So that should help dampen some of the pulses from the exhaust. And the coil will dissipate the heat, try to keep it away from the sensor, and it's a nice long run, so that should help. And then I also went to pick up some of these aluminum, like thin rubber coated washers. So it was like $2 for these. I was just going to get like a copper crush washer, but I feel like this would be pretty good. It is going to dissipate the heat, so it should be cool enough that it's not going to melt the rubber off of it. But that's kind of what that looks like. I still have to drill the hole in the crossover and run this thing through there, but I should be able to access it nicely from underneath to be able to drill the hole, put the barb in, and then be able to put the line in there and tighten it down. So okay, so I skipped ahead a little bit here, but I'm all pretty much done and I'm working on wiring in the sensors right now. So to give some context, I have the sensor down here, the back pressure sensor, and I have the coolant pressure sensor here. So I took the Sloppy Mechanics harness and then ran it down here, up here, kind of just wrapped it around that line. And then it actually goes underneath the intake where it is spliced into the old TPS wiring. So I'm using an electronic throttle, so I'm not using the throttle position sensor, so it's actually stealing the throttle position wiring. It's split off of that, and one goes to here. I just kind of coiled the other loop underneath. You can kind of see the extra wiring there, and then the two sensor wires coming out. So other than that, wiring is buried pretty well. I did go underneath the intake with the signal wires around the front because if I ever have to pull the intake off, I want to just be able to leave this connected. So I didn't go through any of the runners. I ran it around the front. I am going to put some loom on this, and then I'll be able to unplug both ends and then run it out if I need to. But this one's going to be connected to the ECU, so that's why I went around the front runner. I did pull the fuse box cover off so I could get to the inputs and outputs, and then I just spliced it into 2 and 3. And as far as that back pressure sensor goes, I have it bolted on there. I have the coil down there. And then after the coil, it goes underneath the manifold. And then I just have it kind of looped down and around right over here. So we'll see how that location works. I know it's kind of close to the wastegate. I don't think it should really affect it that much because overall that system should still have pressure in it. So we should be able to get a pretty decent reading. Next, I'm just going to put the fuse box and stuff back together, loom that thing, and then I'll go through the computer and set it up, and then we'll test them. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go into the I/O configuration. I have it on 2 and 3. So this one's going to be coolant pressure. We'll enable it. It'll be a 5-volt sensor, and then we're going to have back pressure, enable. We're going to do a 5-volt. And then we'll go into configure, and these are both 0 to 100 sensors. So I'm just going to go to custom 5-volt. We'll do the units as PSI, and then we'll do sensor minimum 0, and then sensor max 100. And then we'll go down to the table. And the voltage is going to be 0.5 to 4.5. And then I usually like to go highlight the whole thing and then fill rows. Seems like, yeah, the numbers change a little bit after you do that. So, and then we go 0 to 100. Right click and then fill rows. So that one should be good. We'll go back and do the same thing for back pressure. And we'll fill rows there. So those should both be set up. And then what I'll do now is I'll go into the pin map and then I'll make sure that I pin them. So view inputs, we got coolant pressure on input 2, and then we have back pressure on input 3. So that should be good. We'll save this and then we'll test it, see what it looks like. Alright, so bringing up the data logs here, you can see I do have coolant pressure and back pressure set up. And this is the back pressure line, and then the green is the coolant pressure line. So you can see this blue line, I go 100% throttle right here, and we can just kind of scroll through and watch each one go up. So coolant pressure goes from about 7 psi to about 10, so that's not too bad. And then the back pressure, we start at about 1 psi, and then it comes all the way up to like 13, 9 to 13 range. So it's 10 pounds of back pressure, and it's making about 9 pounds of boost. So that's not too bad. And here we are at 14 and 9, but it does have this big bump right here. But either way, the sensors are working, so we'll be able to get some data on this thing and kind of figure out where we need to be. Coolant pressure, essentially, I'll be able to do some baseline pulls and kind of figure out where it averages out at, and then you can set a safety up. So if it averages around, 10 to 15 psi on a quarter-mile pass, you could set a coolant pressure safety for, say, like 20 or 30 psi, so you know that if you lift ahead and you're pushing exhaust gas into the coolant passage, then you could set a safety up. So before you create an issue, it'll actually shut the engine down. And then back pressure kind of help with a reference to see when you're running out of turbo. So that's kind of what I'm planning on doing with this. Everything seems to be working. So I'll just take it out and do some more testing. So while I was doing this and actually setting up the sensors, I kind of accidentally discovered that I can actually build 9 to 10 pounds of boost here. So that'll be a different video, but I've been kind of working through the settings on the foot brake and this test actually went to about 9 pounds. Like I said, that'll be in a different video, but before I was having issues getting it to build boost at all on the foot brake. I would get to like 1 pound and it would stop. So now I have a couple times gotten it to 9 and 10 pounds. So that should be good. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.